Mr. President, dear colleagues, it's an honor to open this NATO Military Committee conference here in Riga, a city whose history reminds us that freedom is never given, only safeguarded. And it is an even greater privilege to have with us His Excellency the President of the Republic of Latvia, Edgars Rinkēvičs. Mr. President, your presence here is a true honor for the NATO Military Committee. You remind us that what we discuss in this room is not abstract. It concerns the security of our nations, the safety of our people, and the very fabric of our way of life. We meet at a historic moment. Russia's brutal war aggression against Ukraine continues to rage. New technologies are transforming the very character of warfare, and the rules-based international order that has preserved our peace is under direct and deliberate challenge. As Latvians say, he who is ready is never taken by surprise, and Latvia knows what this means. From its struggle for independence to its frontline role in the alliance today, Latvia embodies resilience. History also warns us. This week marked a significant anniversary. On 25 September 1939, Soviet bomber and reconnaissance aircraft violated the airspace of all three Baltic states, Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia. Those incursions were more than mere provocation. They were the opening signal of Moscow's determination to impose its will. The moment should resonate deeply with us today. Twice in the space of 2 weeks, the North Atlantic Council has met under Article 4. Multiple allies, including Estonia, Finland, Latvia, Lithuania, Norway, Poland, and Romania, have experienced airspace violation by Russia. These acts are escalatory, reckless, and endanger lives, and Russia bears full responsibility for these actions. Today, I express full and unequivocal solidarity with all allies whose airspace has been breached. The alliance response has been robust and will only continue to strengthen. On 12 September, Eastern Sentry was launched to bolster NATO posture along the eastern flank. And at the Hague summit, our minister reaffirmed this resolve, committing 5% of defense budget to new capabilities. Ladies and gentlemen, this gathering of the chief of defense of each NATO ally together in the Baltic region is a testament to our strength and solidarity. Mr. President, I would like now to give you the floor for your opening remarks.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you, Chair, Admiral, Generals, Admirals, distinguished members of the Military Committee. It is my real pleasure to welcome all of you here in Latvia for your NATO's Military Committee conference. This is actually the first meeting of the senior NATO military leadership after the NATO summit in The Hague. It was a decisive shift in the alliance's resolve to make NATO stronger, to make the alliance more capable and more lethal by investing 5% of GDP in defense. At that summit, we all reaffirmed our commitment to NATO, to the strongest alliance in history, and also we reaffirmed our commitment to the transatlantic bond. But I'm sure that we all acknowledge that is also a test case for Europe's ability to step up, for allies each individually, and also for Europe as a whole to shoulder a fair share of defense expenditure. I think that we can all say that it is in our interest to fill NATO's new generation of defense plans with required forces and capabilities. As I've said yesterday when I was hosting you in the Riga castle, and I want to repeat that also here today, this is not so much about Excel sheets, it's not about political slogans, but it's about real capabilities that each and every army, each and every navy, each and every air force need currently to counter all the emerging threats and also traditional threats. From our perspective, the threat assessment is clear. Russia poses a long-term threat to Euro-Atlantic security. Terrorism remains a persistent threat. Europe and the alliance is being tested in every way possible. So that the task is to equip our forces for the threats and challenges of today and those of tomorrow. And we must do that across all domains, to uphold the fast technological advances and to mobilize our defense industries. And we also know that the best way how to defend our countries is a deterrence, but that deterrence must work. Admirals, generals, you can be assured that Latvia continues to invest all our efforts in our own defense capability development. We are committed to invest 5% of GDP in defense already very soon. As a direct neighbor to Russia and Belarus, we know our responsibility to strengthen the external border of NATO and the European Union. This includes countering the daily illegal migration pressure as part of Russia's and Belarusian hybrid tactics. That has amounted already to more than 10,000 deterred migrants on our border this year alone. Baltic Defence Line is aimed at enhancing the military infrastructure along the three Baltic states. We are advancing our host nation support for allied troops. I just want to express one more time our profound gratitude to all allies present with their forces and capabilities in the Multinational Division North and NATO's Multinational Brigade in Latvia, under the very capable leadership of Canada. Brigade has become fully operational and combat ready. Let me also say that another mission that NATO has launched, the Baltic Sentry, has proved its effectiveness in constraining Russia's shadow fleet activities. Chair, commanders, members of the military committee. The immediate priority today is clearly air defense. As Admiral already noted, Russia continues a pattern of provocations, most recently recklessly violating the airspace of Poland and Estonia. And here I really want to thank and welcome NATO's immediate response commencing Eastern Sentry. This serves as a tangible example of NATO's decisive response. The intensity of Russia's drone attacks against Ukraine has created incidents in several allied countries, among them also here in Latvia. This is the reality we face. This is, to some extent, not anymore even new reality. The response should continue to be robust, transforming Baltic air policing to a Baltic air defense mission with respective rules of engagement should be a priority. In addition, ensuring we collectively make the best use of technological advancement to counter drone systems. There is actually a lot we can learn from Ukraine in this regard. Building our own defense capabilities goes hand in hand with our continued support for Ukraine. Our military support for Ukraine is 0.25% of GDP per year. And we have added to this a further commitment of 5 million euros to NATO's prioritized Ukraine requirement list, or PURL initiative, to buy weapons from the United States to Ukraine. I think that we should continue to do our utmost to help Ukraine. To conclude, let me underscore the resolve and unity of NATO as our stronghold. Russia should be in no doubt that NATO and allies will employ, in accordance with international law, all necessary military and non-military tools to defend ourselves and to deter all threats from all directions. A clear deterrence message to Russia and reassurance to our own societies. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. I now give the floor to General Budans. Kaspar, brother, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Your Excellency, State President, Admirals, Generals, dear colleagues. It's great honor for myself and our armed forces to welcome you here in Riga for the NATO Military Committee Conference, as it was told first time here in Riga in this format. This gathering comes at a decisive moment for the alliance as we meet on the NATO's eastern flank to reaffirm the unity, cohesion, and resilience that forms the foundation of the Euro-Atlantic security. Europe today faces hostility that strikes at the heart of our stability and the very principles upon which NATO was founded. Russia's war against Ukraine has become a testing ground for modern warfare, where conventional force is fused with cyber attacks, disinformations, and new technologies, such as mentioned drones and electronic warfare. But Ukraine is not only defending its sovereignty, it is defending the credibility of the international order. For us, supporting Ukraine is both a moral duty and a strategic necessity. Russian aggression extends beyond Ukraine. It's part of a broader campaign against our continent, and its impact is felt globally. From energy blackmail and economic coercion to attempts to reshape international norms in Europe, in Africa, and beyond. We are witnessing 360-degree threats that encompass airspace intrusions, disinformation campaigns, cyber attacks, and the manipulation of democratic institutions. These actions, of course, are designed to sow division, undermine our trust in our societies and in us, and weaken the cohesion of NATO and the EU. Therefore, we must see Ukraine not as a final objective of this aggression, but as a front line of a contest that spans regions and domains. But the alliance has responded with determination. The recent airspace violations remind us that our security cannot be taken for granted. NATO's swift activation of Baltic Sentry and now Eastern Sentry demonstrated our capacity to coordinate, respond decisively to provocations along our eastern borders. This is deterrence in action, and it sends a message far beyond Europe. But deterrence requires constant efforts. NATO's collective defense is built on the strength of every ally, sharing both the framework and the responsibilities. Each ally acts as a pillar in upholding the collective responsibility for our security. We must each do our part, and Latvia is acting with urgency. We are investing in layered air defense, coastal defense, drones and counter-drone systems, new infantry fighting vehicles, artillery, and logistics. The development of new training range, Celia, soon to be one of the largest in Europe, will significantly expand our readiness and interoperability with allies. Our priorities in years to come will continue to be ensuring credible deterrence and strengthening our defense, including increasing allied presence, improvement on our own capabilities, development of infrastructure, and increasing personnel. Although military strength is a corner of our security, it should be complemented by resilience of our societies. The nature of conflict is evolving, and resilience has become critical as a firepower. This is not only about Latvia, it's about the alliance as a whole. We must strengthen our societies against disinformation, cyber disruptions, and coercion, while ensuring that our economies and institutions remain secure. Colleagues, I'm confident that the discussions here in Riga will sharpen our shared vision of our future. They will reaffirm our commitment to modernization, sustained investment, and an alliance that remains cohesive, agile, and ready for the challenges of tomorrow. These are not optional ambitions. They are imperatives if we are to protect our nations, our partners, and the values that unite us. Thank you very much. Thank you, Chair.
President Rinkēvičs, General Pudāns, thank you for your inspiring words. Today, our 32 allies are collectively reinforcing our capabilities, strengthening our defense posture, including integrated air and missile defenses. I have no doubt that every ally around this table's commitment to Article 5 is ironclad. Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, that is what this military committee represents: clear, candid military advice forged collectively and given without hesitation. Mr. President, esteemed colleagues, let us seize this day in Riga not only to discuss but to strengthen the resolve that binds our alliance for our nations, for our people, and for those who will inherit the peace, freedom, and unity we defend today and always. But before we continue, it is our sacred duty that we pause now and dedicate a due moment to recognize the service of all men and women in uniform who relentlessly defend our freedom and share our values. Especially in these challenging times, they are the spearhead of our deterrence. Thanks to their dedication, every square centimeter of the Euro-Atlantic region remains protected, today as it has been for 76 years. On behalf of the NATO Military Committee, I wish to acknowledge their unwavering commitment, steadfast dedication, and remarkable courage in safeguarding our citizens. In particular, our thoughts are with those who have sacrificed their lives or sustained injuries during their service. Let us take a solemn moment to honor them and show our respect for their sacrifice. They will never be forgotten. Please let us rise. This concludes the public portion of our deliberations. At the end of today's discussion, General Budans and I will brief the media on the outcome of this meeting. I kindly ask the media to leave the room. Thank you.